municipal elections themselves, Sam. We speak directly to service delivery and the issues of the provision of water, electricity, as well as housing and sanitation. So it'll be very interesting to hear how the EFF will try to convince South Africans, given that it's going to be the very first time they will participate in the local government elections, for them to go out and vote for the EFF come the 3rd of August. We're expecting to hear from the EFF's Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, a bit later on this morning. But already just outside the gates here at the Orlando Stadium, we're already seeing some fighters, as they're called, some red berets, who are queuing outside the gate, waiting to be brought in to the stadium here this morning. We're expecting quite a large number of them to turn out here to hear their Commander-in-Chief speaking as well. So what we're expecting essentially is for the EFF to outline, for example, how it plans to deal with issues at corruption at local level. You know, of course, many allegations of some municipalities that are plagued by corruption, how the EFF will tell South Africans how they plan to deal with some of those issues and how they plan to deliver these all essential services to South Africans. The issues I mentioned relating to electricity, housing, as well as water and sanitation.
Chriselda, you've mentioned a couple of interesting things, but one of the big questions people are going to be asking, over the last year, the EFF has really made an inroad politically. It's been quite robust in its approach. Now, seen it interact with young people. Are we expecting a large part of those in attendance this morning to be young, born frees that are looking for leadership? And many may argue that
Well, 100%. What we've seen the economic freedom fighters do is really try and woo young people. You'd know that there are many challenges when it comes to issues of young people, issues of job creation, issues of unemployment. So that's what the EFF has really moved its focus to try and get young people to come and listen to what the EFF has to say and perhaps woo them in the run-up to this local government election. So certainly they would want to appeal to young people, those perhaps who are desperate for jobs, who are desperate for job creation, who are desperate for a space within the employment sector in South Africa. That's certainly what the economic freedom fighters will target here this morning. What I observed here this morning as well, just as we were preparing for this live broadcast, is that some of those who are queuing outside the gates here at the Orlando Stadium are mainly young people. So it certainly seems that the EFF will try to woo young people, perhaps to listen to what the EFF has to say, and perhaps a promise all that will be enticing, I guess, to young people, including issues of them perhaps wanting to address issues of unemployment, a creation of jobs, a creation of a space as well within the higher education sector. Of course, you would know that there's always been a scramble for further education and training, and we've seen over the past a couple of months, over the past year, how that has really turned in South Africa, where we saw young people take to the streets wanting access to higher education and training. So we're expecting quite a lot of that to be focused on in this manifesto in terms of job creation, access to higher education and training. So certainly young people are expected to come out here in their numbers to see if they'll at all be enticed by what the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF, Julius Malema, will have to say.
Chriselda, one more question before we go to an ad break. I think one of the big issues that people will be focusing on is mood and tone. One of the things the EFF has been very good at is capturing and having the ability to take the mood and tone or the sentiment of the country and be able to walk that mood or that tone through, especially with young people. What is the mood and tone that we're expecting from the EFF today, especially in the light of some of the comments their Commander-in-Chief has been making on international media, the kind of things he's been talking about in the newspaper over the last couple, or on media for the last couple of weeks? What are we expecting from on that front?
Well, judging from what we're seeing this morning, we're expecting quite a robust atmosphere. We've already seen some of the fighters, as they're referred to, queuing outside the Orlando Stadium. We're also expecting the very same sentiments, the same rhetoric to echo here at the Orlando Stadium, where the EFF will try and woo South Africans and say that some of, the issues that have been really not cast to the ruling party in a good light over the past couple of months months, the EFF will try to convince many of the supporters and members who will gather here today, perhaps to look to them for solutions to some of the crises in South Africa at the moment. When we speak about crises, of course, we speak about unemployment issues, which the ruling party has not shied away from. It's also indicated that there are still some grave challenges when it comes to job creation, to unemployment, when it comes to poverty, the provision of housing, and also touching on the issues of municipalities. Let's bring it back there again, Sam, because we're heading towards this all-crucial municipal election that the EFF will, for the very first time, contest in. They will focus quite a lot on that. So we're expecting the mood here to be quite robust, the very same rhetoric that we've seen, but certainly unapologetic on the part of the EFF for some of the comments that the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, has made over the past a couple of days that saw the African National Congress take Mr. Julius Malema to court over some of those sentiments. So, we're expecting an unapologetic EFF here this morning, but moreover, for them to outline why South Africans should go to the polls on the 3rd of August and vote for them and vote their councillors into power for them to run those municipalities, and to try and convince South Africans that if they do so, then those municipalities will be better run, and that will be translated into better service delivery for our people.
Okay, that's our SABC reporter, Chriselda Lewis, setting the scene fast ahead of the launch of the EFF's Election Manifesto, which will happen in Orlando. Thousands expected today. We'll keep on crossing to Chriselda throughout the morning. She'll have some guests for us, and also maybe before we see the Commander-in-Chief, kind of maybe unpack some of the issues that should be highlighted in that Election Manifesto. We take an ad break. Don't go anywhere.